Hey guys, I just wanted to come at you real quick and do a video on colors and color psychology. There are a lot of colors out there to choose for your business, and logos are very important. Lines are very important, and colors are very important. And all these things work together in your logo and in your the fonts that you use and all of that type of thing. They all work together to make yourself a brand. Branding is very important in any company, and recognition is one thing that you really want to concentrate when it comes to your business cards, your letterheads, your contracts. Everything should look similar. Everything should work together so that when a customer picks up your contract, they can instantly recognize that it's yours and not from the landscaping company that is mowing their lawn. So branding is very important, and for a lot more reasons than I just mentioned. There's a lot to branding, but one of the most important things in branding is the color or colors that you select. So I wanted to do a quick video about colors, and I'm just going to cover very basic colors. I'm not going to get into different shades, and then I want to talk about lines and logos. And I'm just going to go over some very quick information about lines and logos at the end of the video. Not going to get detailed into it at all. But I just want to go over that real quick and help you guys out. So I made a list of the colors. You really want to look at yourself and look at the company that you want to have. You want to, first of all, ask yourself, what's your favorite color? And I know the teachers always ask you that when you were in school, what's your favorite color? And so eventually you had to decide what your favorite color is. And that was part of your growing up or whatever like that. But what is your favorite color? And your favorite color is going to tell you a lot about yourself. If you go to Google and look up color psychology, find your favorite color, and you will learn some things about yourself and your business. And one of the things that I see in branding with small businesses a lot is the color of the business and the colors that the business has chosen to represent it do not match the personality of the owner and or the people that are working in the business. So when people get a first impression from you handing them a business card, they're looking at the business card and they're making themselves a first impression of you and your business. If you hand somebody, if you're a landscaping company and you hand them your business card and it's blue and white with straight lines, they're going to wonder what the heck is up. If your business card is sitting on a rack at the local Ace hardware store or whatever your local hardware store is, people browse over them very quickly. And if your business card is blue and white with straight lines, they're not going to think that that's the company that they're looking for if they're looking for someone to mow their lawn. So it's a matter of choosing the right colors and the right lines for your business, for your branding, and for your logo. If you work for commercial stores and you do commercial maintenance, replacing light bulbs and light fixtures, that's a big thing that needs to get done. There's companies around here that we have that I know of a company that all they do is open up light fixtures, replace the bulbs, and clean the lenses. And that's all they do 24/7. That's what their company is. And if their card is green with a bunch of squirrely lines on it and has a comical picture of a cat, they're not going to stay in business for very long, because they're going to hand the business owner their card, and the business owner is going to throw it in a pile of cards. And when they're looking for somebody to replace some lights and they see that card at a distance, they're not going to think that's the card I'm looking for. So branding is very, very important, and it has everything to do with the logo, the lines, and the colors. And you want everything to be cohesive. So whatever you pick out for your business card, it needs to match all the rest of your letterhead, your website, etc., etc. And everything needs to work together in a cohesive way so that people can recognize you instantaneously and they know this is this company and this is what they do. And the colors and lines that you use tell your story. And it's all first impression, it's all psychosomatic. People don't understand what's going on. It's not like they look at it and they think about it and they think it that way. Because as soon as they start to really think about it, that's when they take in all of the other information and the writing on the particular card. But that very first snap impression that people get is very important. And it's that instantaneous psychological evaluation that people do of you and your company that creates a first impression. So let's jump right in. We'll talk about what do I got here? 5 colors, and then we'll talk about why it's important, and we'll talk about lines and logos. Try to bring it all together for you and why it's important, and then go through that. So the first one we'll talk about is red. Red equals passion. Everybody knows that. That's why Valentine's Day is red. Red equals passion. So if you're a business that is very passionate, you're a business that is very high energy, terms that you might think of and businesses that you might think of, like them or not, Trump conveniently used red. It's convenient that the Republican Party uses red for him and his campaign, but he used red for his campaign. He had a very high energy campaign, a very busy campaign. Things moved very quickly. It was very fast paced, and everything was very everything was there was a little confusion, but everything was pretty much organized, and everything was the biggest thing you want to take from that is the high energy. Everything was just done very big. Think of a hot air balloon, just a lot of hot air going on. Companies that choose red for their logo, that's what the customer thinks of. They think of big. They think of high energy. They think of getting sold. They think of they think of just a lot of fluff and a lot going on that may or may not be necessary. A lot of big roofing companies and exterior work companies, they use red because they want a big presence, and that's what red entails. So red is passion, big energy. That's what you think of when you see red. Let's talk about blue. Blue is a very sterile color. Blue is, if you're a hospital, you're branding a hospital, blue is a great color. If you're a commercial maintenance company, blue is a great color. If you are doing plumbing or HVAC, maybe you're a heating company, maybe not so much heating companies, but if you're a plumbing company, water's blue, blue is a good color. Blue is a very sterile color, very clean color. Blue is a color that instills trust. That's one of the big things about blue. A lot of people think of commercial. They think of companies that work with other companies. Blue is a very business to business color. It's not always a great home color. A little bit of blue in your logo, if you're doing multiple colors, is okay and a good thing. If you're doing a single color, which I recommend, if you're doing a single color, blue is not so much a great color if you're trying to sell to homeowners. If you're trying to sell to other businesses, blue is a great color. Pick blue. Next one, yellow. Yellow instills caution. Companies that want to use yellow, yellow is a good color for companies that do hazard work. If you're a mold remediation company, yellow is a great color. If you're a company that comes in and does cleanup like ServPro, very large company that uses actually hazard green and yellow in their logo. Yellow is a great color if you go around and do cleanups after fires and that type of stuff. If you're a concrete company, yellow is a great color. If you're a blacktop company, yellow is a great color. Those are the type of businesses that should use yellow. So that's kind of what yellow instills. Yellow is also a very friendly color. So that's why if you're a concrete or a paving company, yellow is a great color. Friendly, it's a very friendly color. Instills maybe not so much a long term, but a long term, friendly people and that type of stuff. That's where yellow is a very good color. Green, my favorite color, it instills the idea of trust. Green is a color of growth. When you think of green, you think of grass, and you think of trees, and you think of landscaping companies. Uh, but green is not always the best color for a landscaping company. Green is a good color for a landscaping company if they want to install the idea of growing and the idea of stability. That would be a good color. You want to be maybe a small company that is growing. You're up and coming company. Not so much a startup type of idea, but maybe a company that's growing slowly. Uh, a local company that I know that builds homes, they use green, and they use a lot of subcontractors. They have 3 employees. They've been around for 40 plus years. They build homes. That's all they do is build houses. And they use green because they are instilling the idea of a small company that is growing and is doing bigger things. Green, think of an oak tree when you're thinking of green. Think of a small oak tree getting up there, doing things, and growing, moving through those periods. A slow growing company, not a company that started last year and has 20 employees all of a sudden. Not that type of thing. A company that starts with a single person and grows up from there. That's the idea of green. And then the last color we're going to talk about is black. I have heard some people make a similar statement to this, that while colors are a bad thing on your card, they cost money. I'm just going to go black and white. I'm going to get rid of the colors. We're just going to go sterile. We're going to go black and white. That's what we're going to do. That is the worst idea. If you don't see your company in any of these colors, and so you choose to go black, you did the wrong thing. Black is a very impersonable color. Black is very distasteful as far as a logo goes. It's a very, like I said, it's impersonable, and it doesn't really invite people to call you or to get to know you or your business or anything like that. It's very sterile. It's very offish. It's just not a very tasteful color for your logo. You don't really want to do that. The opposite side of that is companies that have been around for a very long time will go to a black and white style logo, with obviously black being the main color. Companies like Apple have gone there. Other companies, other big companies, big name companies will go that route. If you've been around for 100 plus years, then you can go that route, and it gives a different idea than a 5 or 10-year-old company does when it goes to a black logo. It gives the idea of longevity. It gives the idea of an old man that's been around for a while. It gives the idea, old men, they would have white hair, not always with hair dye these days, but you think of an old man, you think of white hair. He's been around, he has the experience, he knows how to do things, he does things correctly, has the experience to do things right. So that's the idea. Once your company's been around, if your company's been around for 50 years, if you're taking over a company and trying to rebrand it that's been around for a long time, then that might be an idea to give it that black and white look. It's not a good idea if you're just starting a new company to go to a black and white look. The other thing is, if you hand somebody a black and white card, they're going to just automatically think Chuck in a Truck, Fly By Nighter, Saturday Sally, whatever all the negative terminologies are. That's what they're going to think. They're going to think that you're unbranded. And unbranded companies instill a distrust and an idea that you haven't been around and you're not going to be around. So that's not a customer that wants to hire a company that hasn't been around and it's not going to be around for a long time isn't a customer that you want to hire. So make sure that you pick the right color for that. And then I quickly wanted to talk about lines especially on your business card. If you are a company that is choosing blue or blue and yellow, straight lines are a good idea. Shapes like diamonds, rectangles, squares, that type of thing, it instills a more of a sterile idea. They're very unfriendly. They're very unforgiving. If you're a commercial company, commercial maintenance company, that type of thing, if you are a company that installs concrete, then straight lines, leaning towards straight lines might be a good idea. Circles, ovals, scrolls, all of that, those are more friendly shapes. And you want your business card, if you are a single operator or maybe a partnership, small company, you want to be friendly and you want the lines on your card to be friendly. You want to portray an idea of friendliness. And part of that is going to be mixing colors and mixing shapes. And the more shapes that you mix and the more colors that you mix, the busier your card becomes and the more obnoxious it becomes. It starts to look like a clown car. But you want to have a nice little balance, just a little taste. Not that I am by any means the pinnacle of how to design a logo, but just to give you an idea of my opinions, this is my logo. So you can see I have nice shapes on here. I hand drew that. That's actually one of my smaller logos. I don't have my full logo. That's my smaller logo, but I don't have my full logo. But it's essentially the same idea. I don't have that in front of me right now. It's essentially the same idea. I have handmade scroll work over top of the name of my company. And what it boils down to is I've put a lot of friendly craftsman-like scroll work on my logo, and it gives it gives the customer the idea of custom. I hand drew it and I did all the artwork myself, and it gives the customer the idea that things are customizable. The green it's very friendly. It's not overpowering. It's a very slow color. It's a growth color, and so it gives the customer the idea that that I'm someone that can be worked with. I'm not coming in and installing a product into their home. I'm not just pushing a single product and leaving the rest of their home. It is what it is. If you're a company that does that, there's not necessarily anything wrong with that. If you're an HVAC company and you want to sell heaters, it's a good idea to maybe lean in your logos to something more straight-laced with the blue and straight lines and that type of stuff, but bring in a lot of, some more friendly concepts too. If you're a daycare, you don't want straight lines and blue colors. If you're a daycare, you want lots of curves and you want lots of yellow, maybe a little bit of red, maybe a little bit of blue, but yellow is going to be the primary color that you want to portray. And that is obviously a lot of people do a lot of logos very differently, and you might want to work with, pastels and get into shading and all that kind of stuff. But as far as just very basic colors go, and to draw across a very basic line, is you want to have a very light touch with your logo, and you want to have a very friendly. You want to draw the line for your particular company between being friendly and being straight laced, depending on who your target is. So if you're a concrete company, you don't want a pastel colored child as your logo. That's just creepy. But if you're a daycare, you don't want a yellow and with straight lines as your logo. which would be perfect for a concrete company. Yellow and straight lines, that's perfect for a concrete company. But you can see where the color's the same, but the lines are different, and that affects the idea of what's going on. And then you can get into, you know, caricatures and drawings and different things, um, and different elements in design, and that goes a lot further. And what we're trying to basically cover is color and the idea of colors and basic lines in basic branding, and not get into, you know, we're not trying to dive very deep here. But I just wanted to give you a basic overview of that and why color and why lines are important in your business card and in your business logo, and why keeping everything uniform is important. So I hope this video has been helpful, and I hope that you've learned something, or if you haven't learned anything, that it's been a good reminder, because we all always need good reminders. And maybe if you're working on your logo right now and you're working on branding and that type of stuff, that this can be helpful for you.